Hailing frequencies open. Welcome back to Trek Retrek here on Geek the F Out. I am Captain Johnny.
And I'm Ensign Kayla. I hurt myself every time.
Every time. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
You probably know what we're all about by now, but if you don't, we're watching the Star Trek, the original series, all the way through. Every episode I have seen before. This is Kayla's first time.
Mm-hmm. Popping my cherry.
Popping 79 cherries. So close. We just got to stop at 69, right?
Yeah. We just shouldn't do the last one. And then, yeah, it's fine.
This week, we are here to talk about bread and circuses. I like rye myself. My mom likes sourdough. What's your bread
sourdough
preference?
I love
What's
sourdough.
What's your go-to? Tangent time.
As a kid, I definitely liked white bread. My dad would always order rye. Yeah, I would always order white bread, but now I really love sourdough. It's just something about it, especially when it's toasted with like butter.
Mm-hmm. I like rye bread. I like those dark breads like rye, pumpernickel, But I also do like if I'm having a egg over easy to dip toast in, it's just white bread. Well, I mean, sometimes it's rye bread too, but
you should try sourdough dipped in.
I've had sourdough, especially at Cracker Barrel.
But also
when you go to Cracker Barrel, it's always sourdough.
That's not actual sourdough though. You need to get it from California, specifically the Bay Area, specifically San Francisco, because that's the origin of sourdough.
Let me just hop in my private jet.
You can order some.
Scoot on down there. I was gonna say something else, and now I forgot what it was. But what about like the sourdough bread bowls from Panera?
Do I like those?
I mean, are they an approximation at least of what you're talking about?
Well, I think the problem is you need to live here because I mean, they might be able to ship it across the country, but it's because of our climate here. That's what makes the sourdough so good.
It's like the same reason you don't have any actual good pizza out in California.
Yeah, no.
Because of the water.
The best kind of pizza is when it's the Napoleon style pizza.
Yeah.
Napolitana.
It's there's not really Strombolis out there either.
No. There's calzones at some places. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know it's something to do with the water and the way the water interacts with the flour and the yeast to make the dough. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're really off track.
All your fault. You asked.
Circuses. What
is the point of this title?
Actually, that is going to be in episode trivia. I think. Let me make sure I put it in.
Heavier than I thought you were gonna be. Oh my god. Okay. Hello. We're fine.
It's not. I didn't put that one in.
Oh, it's not.
No,
it's not.
I did not end up picking that one for
come up here.
This. Here, bread and circuses. So it comes from the title, Bread and Circuses, is Panem et Circenses in Latin. Comes from a line by the Roman satirist Juvenal, Juvenal. So I imagine it's juvenile, literally the word juvenile. And refers to the practice in ancient Rome of providing a regular free bread or grain to the lower classes and free entertainment in the city's arena and circuses, both of which had the effect of preventing civil unrest in the populace.
Interesting.
I can't hear you. You're muffled by dog.
Interesting. He actually smells really good. He looks bigger than he actually is.
He is an excellent acoustic barrier.
All right, you're gonna go down now. Oh God, ow! Just use me as a springboard. It's fine. Ow. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I was curious with the title.
So, TVGuide.com says, I'm scrolling, can you tell? Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are forced into fierce gladiatorial combat by a traitorous starship captain on a planet where a savage Roman Empire uses 20th century technology.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's about right. Shall we get into it?
Do we have to? It's okay.
We gotta get through this, Johnny. These are the last 2 episodes of season 2. We got this. Ready, set, break. On the bridge, they find debris of the SS Beagle, which disappeared 6 years ago. And apparently, Kirk knew Captain Merrick from the Academy who was on it. They trace it back to a Class M planet just like Earth because, of course, it's just like Earth, just like all the other planets they visit.
Yup.
They pick up a news broadcast from the planet and they talk about slaves uprising and they show gladiators fighting, including some people that were on the SS Beagle. And then Uhura says there's something called video. And I was like, girl, you literally have video screens all over. And anyways, so they Spock, Kirk, and Bones beam down to the planet, and it's interesting because they do show 2 moons in the sky.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
So that was different. I was like, oh, it's not really like Earth then, because it has 2 moons. So there's that. And Bones makes a joke about declaring he's an angel one of these times. And I was just like, oh, that's such a Bones thing to say. And suddenly someone starts shooting at them. And apparently they speak English because, of course, they do. And apparently they're slaves. And one of them has some short shorts, a.k.a. Flavius. And we love them short shorts. Kirk contacts the Enterprise to prove to them that they're not Romans or slaves, and they go back to the slaves' caves, which look a lot like the same ones that were in Private Little War. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, these caves are prolific.
Definitely get a lot of use out of them.
Yes.
Apparently, Rome never fell on this planet, and these slaves worship the sun. And they find out that Merrick is now Americus, and which also is very like America.
Fuck yeah, America. Yeah,
and
it
he's
is.
The first citizen, aka a butcher, which will come up later in my spoilers of that context. And Spock is in a beanie again, so that's exciting. And Flavius takes them to find Merrick, but then they get shot at by the police and arrested, and they call Spock a barbarian because of his ears, which I'm like, like, people don't have ears like that. Like, where the fuck, like, how is he a barbarian? Do you think he's really from this planet?
I don't know about that. I do want to say when they're in the trees and they get shot at, that was like a damn jump scare. Like, it startled me because it was loud and unexpected.
Yeah. True. Yep. Same. So they put them in jail, and Kirk tells one of the officers that to tell Mericus he wants to see him. And they take Flavius to fight in the games. And they try to take Kirk, Spock, and Bones, but of course they nerve pinch and Kirk Fu, only to run into Mericus and more officers. And we find out Mericus is with proconsul Claudius Marcus, which I'm like, wow, such a Roman name, of course, who actually knows who they are. And they sit and eat with the 3 of them. apparently they got hit by a meteor, Merrick's ship. And then he met Claudius and found out that there hasn't been a war there for 400 years, so they don't want news of that getting out, so he stayed. Like, was that really your reason why you stayed? Because then he had to send his men down, and they all had to fight in the arena, and some lived and some died. So, I don't know. It just seemed like a really dumb reason to stay. You know?
Yeah, kind of. The logic is tenuous at best, as for Merrick's reasoning. Like,
which also, it's like, what do you think is gonna happen if news gets out of this? Like, other people are gonna come and study you or something? Like, why is that such a bad thing? You know, or do they think other people are going to want to come and live there and they don't want other people from other planets living there? I don't know.
Maybe.
So, anyways, they tell Kirk to beam down his crew, but Kirk tells them, code green, all is good, and sends, and so they send the three of them to the arena, which the arena is just a TV set.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be an actual arena. I was very disappointed. It felt very, there's something that it reminds me of. Not Hunger Games, because they actually build an arena, or they have arenas for the games, but I guess some aspects of Hunger Games where they make it look like it's a bigger area, but it's not. But there's something else that does that where it's like just a TV set. You know what I'm
I can't think
about?
of it. No.
Okay.
I feel like I know what
Maybe
you're talking about, but I can't think of what it is.
Yeah. It'll come to me eventually, 3 weeks from now. So Bones and Spock are brought out first while Kirk watches, and they fight Flavius and Achilles, which, of course, one of the dudes is named Achilles. And they fight. Flavius holds back against Bones, and Claudius and Maricus try to get Kirk to call his ship to send people down. And Spock and Bones finally overtake the other two and Claudius tells Kirk to decide what happens to them. And so they get put back in jail to fight again. Kirk gets sent back to Claudius's quarters, where a hot blonde lady, aka Drusilla, in a gold triangular diamond kind of shaped outfit. I don't know how to describe it.
The cutouts on
him.
the sides were like diamonds.
Well, I think the top part was a diamond too, because it was shaped like this.
Yeah, it was very Harlequin kind of, but not. It's weird. But yeah, cutouts and diamonds and.
Yes.
Woof.
I know. And basically she says that she is to be his slave for the evening, which I was like, of course. There's gotta be at least one of these interactions with Kirk an episode. Back in the cells, Bones thanks Spock for saving his life in the arena, which he gets upset with Spock about. And Bones calls out Spock for being not afraid to die, but more so of living, since his human side might peek out, which I thought this was a very, like, deep moment in the middle of this episode that I was surprised with. And Kirk is eating with Drusilla. I actually wrote it that way in my notes.
Figured you did.
He wonders if this is maybe how they torture people, and then they kiss because, of course, he's gotta kiss someone every time. And then all of a sudden he wakes up and she's gone, which I was like, did she drug him? Is this real? Was there consent? And Claudius and Maricus are there, but Claudius dismisses Maricus, which, you know, sense a little tension there.
Yeah.
and tells Kirk he will die easily and quickly, and so will his friends eventually, and they send him to the arena to be executed. But right when he's about to be executed, Flavius comes in to the rescue and knocks out the guards, and Jim escapes, of course, just as the Enterprise takes out the planet's power, which I was like, how do they take out, or at least that area's power, I guess. I don't know if they took out the whole planet's power. So Kirk is freeing Spock and Bones when Claudius, Merrick, and the guards show up. They fight, and Merrick tries to save them by messaging the Enterprise, but he gets stabbed in the back by Claudius, which I knew he would, like, turn back to the good side, so that wasn't really a surprise there.
Yeah.
Did you notice Bones using the cushions to fight, though?
No, I missed that.
They must have been like, because they were in the jail cells, which I'm like, why do they have like cushions in the jail cells? But they looked like, you know, not recliner, like a lounger, like one of those like outside lounge chairs. It looked like those like cushions like strung together. And he threw it at them. I was like, Bones, what the fuck are you doing? How is that helping? So yeah, Scotty beams the three of them up just in time, and because of course, and on the bridge, Uhura explains they meant the Son of God, Christ, which apparently word is only spreading now of this, and I was like, ew, can we not with Christianity being shoved down our throats? And that's the episode.
It felt weird for an episode written by Roddenberry. Not entirely written by Roddenberry, but the draft was his. Like, because it says treatment by John Nabuhi, based on an idea by Roddenberry and Gene Kuhn. And then it just says first draft by Kuhn, second revised final draft by Roddenberry, and then all the revisions are Roddenberry's to the end. So it especially because remember that the episode with the three brains in jars. I forget the name of the episode, but the one where they take over. Not to be confused
with the three balls.
Yeah, the one where they take over Kirk, Spock, and the scientist chick of the week.
Wait, that one does that too? Like the three balls does?
I think we're thinking of the same one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brains or balls?
They were the spheres.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
balls.
The one where if they stayed in the bodies too long, the bodies would die,
yes.
And they had yeah.
Yes.
Because remember when I was going through the background info on that, the original writer was like all pissed because Roddenberry changed it to their. We've got doggy ASMR going on right now with.
Oh no! I can't hear it.
Because the writer was pissed because Roddenberry changed it for them to like just fade into oblivion. And he was talking about his beliefs and his belief in an afterlife. So it was just strange. Anyway, yeah.
It was an episode.
Yep. It's not like it's fine. It's just we've seen this.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, is Merrick for her like Captain? Not Tracy. The scientist from Patterns of Force. Like
yeah, I literally wrote this episode is like if Patterns of Force had a baby with a private little war.
Yeah. Right.
Essentially.
So what do we see? We saw Miri. So Miri had another Earth. We had Omega Glory. We had the Rome or the World War II one. We had this one. Like Roddenberry's obsessed with these like parallel development Earths for some reason during this show. I'm not.
I mean,
like there's more of them than there probably should be.
Yeah, I think, a lot
piece
of
of the
it has to
action.
do, yeah, a lot of it has to do with, what they have to work with.
Yes.
I'm
There were definitely
guessing,
a lot that were cost cutting because they could use sets that they already had and stuff
yeah,
like that.
definitely. Yeah, it was an episode.
Yeah, I don't really even have any like favorite lines or moments except uh, Scotty is like more and more. The more I watch it, the more Scotty becomes my favorite character in this series.
Scotty's great.
And uh, there is a line. So, do you have any other general episode thoughts?
No, that was pretty much it. It being a baby of those two episodes, and then we kind of already talked about it before, but I still don't fully understand why Merrick stayed. Seemed like a
Yeah.
really dumb
Hey.
reason.
Because it didn't seem like it was a we want your technology kind of thing, like it was for.
I mean, it's not even they don't even have technology.
Yeah, like the
Like crazy technology, at least.
yeah, it was Private Little War, where the Klingons were like helping the one side become more advanced than the other.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not even like that.
Hence the private little war of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just, I don't know. The reason for him staying and then just how it ended with them beaming out and like nothing really being resolved.
yeah, they just split. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, Merrick's
They're
dead.
just
Get
like,
us out of here.
peace. Yeah. I don't know. That's my general thoughts.
The whole non-interference thing is really flexible, because you'd think people disappearing in front of someone's eyes is kind of interference.
I know, right? Crazy, huh?
So, any favorite lines or moments from this?
I do have a few, actually. Spock's television was the colloquial term.
Cloaca?
And then when Bones says, the word was smog, and then, like, gets mad at Spock for just, like, going on about it. I don't know. And then when Spock says, I call them ears.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. When Spock says to Bones, I had no idea they were trained. Watching you, I had assumed it was trial and error.
Oh yeah, that
Talking
one was
about his
pretty good.
medical training.
Yeah.
That was funny. And then when Spock says to the guy he's fighting, he's like, I do not want to injure you. Just like him saying that in the middle of them fighting, the like circumstance, in the very monotone Spock-like manner that he does.
Yeah.
I think my favorite, though, is when Bones says, I'm trying to thank you, you pointy-eared hobgoblin.
Yeah.
And
then
I did like the
Spock-
moment.
Spock
I
is
did like the
oh,
moment
yes.
of Bones calling out Spock for being more afraid to live than to die.
Right.
I thought that was a good, deep moment.
Yeah. Bones trying to thank Spock, and then Spock replying with the, oh, yes, your whatever emotional attachment to that. I believe the expected phrase is, you're welcome.
Yes. You're welcome. And when Bones says at the end, I liked that huge sun worshiper.
Yeah.
That was funny. Which I was like, you did? Okay. Yep, that's it for me for lines and moments.
Okay, well, that will bring us to That's What They Said.
Okay.
Don't click
You
the
go
wrong
first.
thing. Okay.
Johnny.
I'll take it out slowly.
if Spock should finish his man off first.
Command me.
I am ordered to please you.
Make it quick. A single thrust.
Go again.
What?
Reread.
Oh. Make it a quick single thrust.
There you go. Very good. Yay! Very, very good.
That will bring us to episode trivia from Memory Alpha. This is one of only 2 original series episodes that features dialogue in Act 1 before the title of the episode appears on screen. The other one is A Private Little War. As the police close in on the landing party after they escape their cell, one of the extras slipped and fell. This is the reason there's a quick cut before the policemen reach the main corridor.
That makes sense.
This is the only TOS episode in which it is explicitly stated that the planetary natives are speaking English. This was perhaps done to make the characters' misinterpretation of SON worshippers as SUN worshippers more plausible, as SON and SUN would likely not be homophones in another language. They are not in either Latin or Greek, the 2 main languages spoken in the Roman Empire. Hodgkin's law of parallel planetary development was used to explain the close similarities to Earth. Excuse me. But the writers were very inconsistent with it. The most blatant is Patterns of Force, which at episode 52 was after this, which was number 43. And so it makes even less sense if the episodes are watched in production order. That's like almost 10 episodes between them. And this filmed aired how many episodes after that one. I swear I read this before, and it must have been it must have been one of the ones, because it was out of production order. It says this episode marks the final appearance of Kirk's 2nd season light green wraparound tunic. Beginning with the next episode, and when the series returns for its 3rd season, Kirk resumes wearing his standard gold and black V-neck tunic full time. So no more green deep V.
Darn.
For Kirk.
You will be missed, deep V wraparound shirt.
So will be missed. That is it for... Oh, the other thing that was in there that I didn't add, but I did want to read because you kind of brought it up. We talked about the name of the episode already, but part of this was... I need to find where's reception. Part of this was the satire of the television industry as a whole by Roddenberry and Kuhn. Alan Asherman notes in the Star Trek Compendium, in the hands of Star Trek's dominant genes, Roddenberry and Kuhn, this episode also becomes a marvelous satire of the television industry. And your disappointment with the arena, the director, Ralph Sineski, who's directed some of the better episodes of the series, if I'm remembering correctly, he says, the scenes in the arena are the part of Bread and Circuses most harmed by the time restrictions imposed by new management. The sequence were literally shot on the run. The satirical look at live television was there, but the spectacle of the Roman arena was far less than it should have been. There was so much more that could have been done that would have been exciting and entertaining, but it required the time to stage and rehearse, with necessary care taken to avoid injury to the actors involved. That set piece should have been the highlight of the production, but those bloodhounds in black suits were nipping at our heels.
Interesting. I wonder, what it would have been like if it was an actual arena. Because it definitely feels more like satire, the fact that it's just a studio. And I wonder if people watching think it is actually at an arena.
Yeah. Especially with the soundboard for applause and boos and catcalls.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to think of what it reminds me of that ended up just being like a stage. I mean, it's kind of like if you're watching The Boys right now, how they, pretty much produce all of their saves that they do. Like, they're not actually saving people.
Yeah,
but that's still not it.
I know. I feel like it was something with like arena combat, something similar in scope, where like,
yeah,
when a competitor dies, they actually just like retire and go off and like live their life. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe someone in the chat will know what we're talking about and will clue us in.
Holla.
But that'll do it for episode trivia. So that will bring us to spoilers without context.
Sweet.
And since I went first,
send me yours?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Since I went first for, that's what they said. We'll bring Ensa Kayla's spoilers without context up on the screen.
Yes. So if you haven't seen the new promo images for Gladiator 2, I had to put Zaddy Pedro Pascal up there for Gladiator. I did Optimus Prime because one of the dude's names was Septimus.
Yeah.
So I was just like, Optimus Prime. And then I had to do Britney's iconic I'm a Slave for You. I think it was a VMA performance. I think it was the VMAs. Because of Drusilla and being a slave for Kirk. And because they called Maricus the Butcher, I had to put Butcher from The Boys. Any excuse to use Carl Urban.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was just like a quick line, but I was like, I'm going with it because Carl Urban. Loved you since Lord of the Rings.
He's such a good Bones in the Kelvin. Like, he's so perfect as Bones in the Kelvin movies. He's probably the best casting in those movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm blanking on his name, who plays Spock. I think he's pretty good too.
Zachary Quinto. Yeah, he's good.
Yep.
But I don't think any of them nailed it quite as well as Carl Urban did. He was definitely the standout.
Yeah, I mean, he always is.
All right, awesome. We will then bring my spoilers without context up on the screen. Very similar. I had to use the Colosseum, and then I used from the first Gladiator movie.
You should have used the other actor. I forget his name. Pedro posted him today. He was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to. I don't want to butcher what he said. Hello, the irony. Paul Mescal, because it's funny because it's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal.
Yes.
Yeah, so he literally like posted this picture and he was like, come and get it. It's not gonna focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, you knew what you were doing, Pedro. Anyways, continue. And
then because of the guns that they had, I had to use a picture of Kirk and Spock from A Piece of the Action with the Tommy guns. Felt appropriate. And then with Spock's quip to Bones about, I believe the phrase is "You're welcome," I had to use the "You're welcome" from Moana. So
I almost
did that
mine. Too. Very good. Very
Thank
good,
you.
Johnny. You're welcome.
And then before we rank the episode, Ensign Kayla, why don't you tell the folks what's going on and where to find us?
I'm good. Just
great.
You can find us right here at GTFO channel on Instagram. Posts updates on upcoming shows and watch/rewatches that we're doing, and other memes and fun stuff. And if you want to email us, our email is channelgtfo@gmail.com. It is the reverse of our handle, in case you want to email us anything. And make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, and smack that bell icon, and rank the episodes. hopefully the ranking will be up now to rank it. And
it'll be up after I say, Ensign Kayla, how do you rank Bread and Circuses?
I also, it keeps making me think of Bread and Cheese from Hot D.
With blood and cheese.
Blood and cheese?
Yeah.
Okay, well, bread. They're now bread and cheese in my
Bread
mind.
and cheese. Yeah, grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm about to eat some mac and cheese after this, so.
Cheese wizard.
Cheese whiz. I'm gonna have to give it. I don't want to give it an ensign, but like, you don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, especially because it's so similar to so many other things.
So many others.
Yeah. I just don't think you need to watch it. I think some of the other ones were probably better, even if we ranked them ensign. Yeah, that's it.
So ensign.
Yep.
Yeah. Same.
Short and sweet.
Ensign. Yeah, it's a weird place because if this had been the first one of this type that we watched, maybe it would be higher. Like, again, an ensign is still skippable. Like, and we're not saying you have to skip it, but you're really not missing anything.
Skippable.
Yeah, you're really not missing anything if you don't watch it, if you haven't watched it. So, yeah. So unanimous rank of ensign for Bread and Circuses. Our next episode will be the season finale for season 2. Assignment
Finale.
Earth. IMDb.com says, while back in time observing Earth in 1968, for some reason, I inserted that. The Enterprise crew encounters the mysterious Gary 7, who has his own agenda on the planet.
Dun, dun, dun. Sounds interesting. Like I haven't watched it yet.
This is one of those episodes that I very vividly remember watching.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, until next time then, folks. Peace and long life.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.